Dear Mr. Marx, Kuhn Hermann, dear colleague, Mayor Feldman, Member of the Parliament and Head of the Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, members of Parliament, honorary guests, a very warm welcome here to Frankfurt, Main and Hesse, to this extraordinary event, this Congress on Crime Prevention. When I look at the pictures here, the pictures of my colleagues, great pictures, I can say it's really been a tradition that the Premier or Prime Minister, Minister President takes over the patronage of these meetings. Of course, I've continued this particular tradition, but I don't perceive this as a duty. It's something that's very close to my heart. Prevention is a very basic obligation, something that all of us have to meet. What does it mean? It's rather simple. The very core tasks that we all have, the state, the society, and every single one of us, the core task that we really have is to make sure that innocent people don't fall victims to crimes. That's really what it's all about when we address these matters. An exciting question, how do we actually manage this? An interesting question. After all, it's a very challenge for all of us. At the very beginning, it was a not so big technical expert meeting, and when I see it today, I think it's probably the largest meeting of this type, of this kind in Germany, if not in Europe, with such a vast pool of experience, knowledge, in order to exchange views and ideas, get information, and of course make sure that we can cope with the task in the future. Minister of Justice, Ms. Kuhn Hermann, she is also here, and she's really advertised this Congress on Crime Prevention with a great deal of activity and energy. So we are all very happy that you've come here in a federal state and a country where prevention has always been very important. We in Hesse are lucky. We have a whole plethora of initiatives and institutions that really serve as role models in this particular area, and successfully so, I would say. Dear member of the City Parliament, Frank, to see violence and help, this initiative, we started this in Frankfurt, and it's been carried out elsewhere. The Network Against Violence, another example. It's really something that's been vastly successful. Or the youth law houses, institutions of a similar kind, and many other things. Ladies and gentlemen, prevention, when we talk about this, we have to first of all ask ourselves, what do we really mean? Because there is this large and varied challenge. When we talk about fighting crime, of course, it's the state units, the state agencies and institutions that are called on. Police, the justice system, the execution of criminal law, the social administration institutions, and many other things. Please think back with me. Just recently, I had the opportunity to address another audience. It was in 1987, when I was Undersecretary of Justice. We had fax machines. That was really the state of the art. And there were some government agencies that didn't have anything like that. Mobile telephones, internet, it was not even looming on the horizon. Nothing of that kind was thinkable, feasible. But the challenges of then have stayed, but we've really been faced with many others. Now, breaking an entry into a household, a big challenge, and everybody who's fallen victim to that knows it's a big stress and burden. Breaking into garden sheds, well, garden sheds, there are people who attach great importance to them. It's their life, so it's really a horrible story for them. And of course, that's not the main focus of our police work. All the same. Violence with all of its different facets. Domestic violence, violence against children, child pornography, internet criminality, or crime rather. They've all started to explode. Organized crime, all the way up to the challenges of extremism on the right, on the left, or religiously motivated terrorism. We are not happy that we are really a focal point of Salafism with a huge number of challenges that go along with that. And when you take these examples, you will certainly see that this is a very colorful picture and a big challenge. Meeting the challenge and coping with the situation, and of course that's what we want, then there are a number of things that we have to be very clear about. Such a varied challenge needs more than one answer. It needs many. Crime, of course, is always a certain mirror of the overall society. And since we live in a globalized world, it's not just a domestic but an international problem. It's not monocausal, and so there is no single answer, but it is multicausal. It's varied, and this is exactly what you see at this Crime Prevention Congress. Mr. Marx, we've got 39 subject boxes, topical boxes, issue boxes, offering all kinds of discussions, plus a number of presentations. I think it's a great format, a very successful one, because only thus is it possible to really properly, or at least almost properly, react to the different challenges. Different challenges, different approaches. But there are some things that affect everybody and that connects everything to each other. A society where the most important task is to avoid victims is a good society if it stays together, offering opportunities to its members, helping people in difficult situations, assisting them, supporting them, or if they've fallen, then they should have the opportunity to get up again. Educational policies are very important. Those who have a good education can work and have a good job and make some money. These people are much less endangered than others who haven't got this. Housing policy, which has vision, which eliminates fear, which thinks of security when the buildings are built so that there are no doors, windows, or corners that can be opened easily with violence. It doesn't really cost a lot of money, but there is a major effect there. And of course, general social policy, very important as a basis for any and every society. Looking around, I think we can do that. We are allowed to do that. There's no other continent which is surrounded by such an extent of instability and dangers as Europe is. Most people don't notice this, but look to the south, Mediterranean, Libya, Egypt, Palestine and Israel. Look at the murderous activities in Syria and Iraq, the non-declared war between Russia and Georgia. Well, when you look at all that, you have a portfolio which, of course, is something that's very close to our home and close to us. Security matters are one thing, but also we have all these many refugees hoping for better lives here. And that's also part of the societal challenges that we want to cope with, and I think that we're also able to cope with and master. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to have all of you here at this Congress on Crime Prevention, the anniversary one. And I'm very happy that there are so many different topics and issues addressed, and I'm sure you'll find interesting answers to all of them. Prevention can only be successful if it is not just bogged down by theory. We always have to go out. We have to go out of the ivory towers. Of course, we also need ivory towers or research and science, but prevention must reach people. Prevention, therefore, must have a societal dimension. And this starts at the very bottom, on site. And of course, it's always the mayors who are in charge of security. When you look at the municipalities, they really know what the situations are like. Therefore, location prevention officers are a very important institutions that can help in many cases. The same applies to the Land Prevention Council officers there and many other institutions, and I should like to thank all of those who work there and contribute to this. It's not full-time jobs that these people have. It's mainly honorary functions that they fill. Schools, sports, associations, they are the ones that are involved in these prevention projects. Our partners, that's what they are, and they carry and support everything. Prevention is something that is not like a civil service job where you just end Friday afternoon. You have to be there at night, you have to be there over the weekends, and you have to be there in particular when it's necessary for different reasons. And this is something that many, many voluntary contributors do. Thousands of them help us here, and therefore I should like to extend my most cordial gratitude to all of those who really, with a lot of experience and hard work, contribute to this preventive work. Those who are full-time officers, but I think in particular those who do it as honorary officers, they also deserve this gratitude. Without them, we couldn't be successful in the long run, because only if we actually act in the society and do that properly and in a lively manner, only then will it be possible to reach those that need to be reached. Thank you very much. So many of you are here. Thank you, everybody, in particularly those who do this hard, honorary work. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marx already mentioned it. We have more than 300 speakers, more than 200 exhibitors, and most certainly it is the largest event of this nature, of its kind, I think in all of Europe. And this shows that the topic is very attractive. It also shows that the format is very attractive, and those who are responsible for that, but also the location seems to be very attractive. Now, the mayor will actually take over. We appear quite often together, so I'll leave it up to him to tell you something about the city of Frankfurt. Frankfurt, of course, is part of Hesse. We are proud of this city and proud of the tradition of this exhibition. And our trade fair company, it's the second largest one of the world, run by the federal state and the city. We are internationally active, but this is our home city, so we are very happy to have this international congress at this location. I wish you very successful and fruitful discussions, interesting new experience and views, and all the success, the best of success, and a very warm welcome again.